Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Are you trying to rebuild your credit because you have a thin credit file or you just have bad credit? Okay, and you trying to find the cheapest and the easiest way to rebuild your credit? Well, many of you all have heard about self, but many people are not aware that they can actually avoid that monthly fee that self charges. Also, they have multiple accounts that you can add to your credit file. All right. And there's a bonus to self is because when you apply for like a new credit card or something like that, what ends up happening is that they are actually put that open date on it. Well, with self, if you already have a self account, if you look on your credit file, they don't put on their opening date. Right? So the reason they don't put on there, or I have not seen it, and it's a good thing that they don't put on there that opening date, so it doesn't re-age your credit file. Okay? So that's the reason why I like self, and we're going to talk about these 3 different accounts that they actually offer. All right? Now, many of us, we're familiar with their loan builder. Okay, and so with their loan builder, it goes from $25 up to $150. And they spread your payments out over 24 months, okay, and they charge a $9 activation fee. Now, that's the $9 activation fee. But here's the thing. If you're paying with your debit card, they charge you 30 cents plus another 2.99% for the debit card. However, if you pay with a prepaid card, then they don't charge you that fee, nor they don't charge you that fee when you use a bank account. Okay. Now, here's another interesting thing about this is that like say that to avoid that to avoid that late fee that you may get, they actually give you a 15-day grace period, okay, before you actually inquire that late fee. So that's the thing about it. If you want to actually take advantage of self, this loan builder definitely helps. Now, not only that, because they actually report to all 3 of the credit bureaus. That's the interesting thing. So that's the loan. Let's talk about the secured card. The secured card, the thing of it is you have to put money on it, right? You have to have at least $100, okay? You have to have at least $100 on the secured card. Now, here's the thing about it. With secured cards, I continue to tell you guys is that with the secured cards, make sure if you want the highest impact or a stronger credit score on your credit file using self credit builder secured card, if you can use the minimum of keep it under 10%. I know a lot of lenders, they said do 30%, but if you keep it under 10%, you'll get a higher jump in your credit score. That's right. It's not the 30% threshold. It's the actual 10% threshold that you'll actually get a higher jump in your credit score. Okay. Now, the reason that I'm liking self, because I told you guys, for every negative account that you have on your credit file, okay, you're going to need at least 2 to 3 positive accounts. And this is the cheapest way to actually get those positive accounts reporting to make up for that one negative item. Okay, this is very important. And again, because they don't show that opening date of the account, that really helps the file. Now, with self, they do give you access to your credit score, but the credit score that they give, it's a Vantage Score. Okay. And yes, your Vantage Score changes more rapidly than your FICO score. Okay. And that's the reason I tell you guys, you have to be very careful when creditors give you a Vantage Score, because your Vantage Score can fluctuate anywhere from 50 to 80 points. That's the reason, like, a lot of people, they would go to Credit Karma and they like, wow, I got a 700 credit score. But then if they check out my FICO or something like that, they're like, wow, how come my credit score is only 640, right? It's because in reference to the algorithm and the way that it picks up. That's the reason, like with Credit Karma, like you can dispute a negative item off of your credit, right? And within 48 to 72 hours, that negative item will come off. And you will see your credit score jump up 50, 80, 100 points, right? But here's the challenge with that. I keep telling you guys. That does not reflect what the actual banks see when they're pulling your credit. Because even though it updated on Credit Karma, because Credit Karma is a Vantage scoring system, is not updating with the FICO scoring system, right? So that's the reason I tell you guys, please be careful in terms of when you're assuming that you have a good credit score. Will it give you a boost? Yes. But at the same time, remember that it's boosting up the Vantage score, but it won't be reflective on the FICO score until like maybe until like maybe 25 up to 35 days later. That's right. So sometimes it may show up sooner in FICO depending on when it's reporting or whatever. But a lot of times when you think that, hey, my 700 and Credit Karma is high, that's not the same 700 that you're going to see in your FICO score, okay? That being said, here's the third account. They have this rent reporting. Now, another thing I continue to tell you guys, just to back up what I'm saying, using FICO 8, when you add utilities, when you add rental payments, when you add subscriptions, FICO 8 or authorized users, FICO 8 does not reflect that. So what banks are you talking about in reference to your FICO 8? You're talking about Chase Bank, okay? You're talking about Bank of America. You're talking about American Express, okay? Because they give you a FICO 8, they're not going to count in your authorized user. They're not going to count in your subscriptions. They're not going to count in your rental payments, all right? That's the reason Self says it right here. The only thing that reflects in terms of those subscriptions and rental payments is your FICO 9 or your trending FICO 10, okay? Or your FICO XD. And all versions of your Vantage score. Those are the ones, because remember, if you're trying to get a mortgage, now with a mortgage, let me help you understand this. With a mortgage, they use the FICO Mortgages, okay? And they'll use the FICO 10T. If you're going for FHA, they'll use the FICO 10T trending, all right? Now, with the 10T trending, they will include like your subscriptions and stuff because it's through FHA, right? Or the Vantage 4. So you have two credit bureaus when you're trying to get an FHA loan that they're actually going to pull, all right? So that you understand. Now, again, with Self, because they're giving you a credit builder, they're giving you a secured card, plus they're giving you rent reporting. Now you have a higher chance to be able to go after other credit cards that are dealing with FICO 9, like Wells Fargo is a FICO 9 bank. First National Bank is a FICO 9. Goldman Sachs pulled TransUnion FICO 9. Navy Federal uses FICO 9. PenFed uses FICO 9. Just to give you some examples of financial institutions that actually use FICO 9, and in terms of how these three accounts will help you build up that FICO 9 score so that you'll be able to get qualified for funding through those type of institutions, all right? Now, if you have any other questions or you're trying to get access to the Self credit builder, you can click the link in the description. Also, if you have questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off of your credit report, click the link in the description. Thank you.